Hey everyone, I've gotten a lot of requests to do Octavia and the 100, so here it is. It's a cool and edgy hairstyle that actually works on a lot of hair lengths, so let's get started. First, find where you're going to start the side Dutch braid Octavia wears. Having a widow's peak like me is a good guide because the braid starts right about where the peak blends into the rest of your hairline. If you don't have a widow's peak, start the braid where your hairline looks like it's starting to slope down to the side. From this point, use some sort of parting tool like a clip or the back end of a comb, and draw a line from front to back and moving to the side of your head a bit as you go further back. This should make a section of hair on top of your head that would look like a triangle pointing forward if you made the exact same part on the other side of your head as well. Extend this part all the way to your crown, which is the top of the back of your head, and pin the top hair away for now. Next, pick up a little bit of hair at the beginning of the part and split it into 3. To start Dutch braiding, weave the top strand under the middle so the two switch places, and weave the bottom strand under the middle as well. Now grab a very small amount of free hanging hair just behind these strands, add it to the top strand so the strand gets bigger, and then weave under the middle strand. Do the same with the lower strand where you add in a little bit of hair and then weave it under the middle. Continue this pattern along the part towards the back of your head. Since this braid will be small, you really want to focus on only picking up small bits to add in at one time, because that will ensure you get a detailed braid rather than one that looks loose and stretched out. Widthwise, you want to make sure you're only picking up new hair from an inch-wide section along the part. In other words, don't pick up hair to add in if its root is more than an inch away from the braid. Once you reach the end of the part, stop adding in new hair and finish the braid normally to the ends. If your hair is on the longer side, you can actually braid to the ends and then not use any hair ties. Besides some loosening at the bottom, small braids hold pretty well on their own. Now, there are multiple variations of this hairstyle that Octavia wears, so I'll show you how to get to each of those from here. The first, which is the very first variation that she wears in the show, has a second normal braid also hanging down the side of the head. Grab a little bit of hair from just below and behind the point where the first braid stopped being Dutch, and braid it to the ends like this. For another variation, make a second horizontal Dutch braid with the rest of the hair on the side of your head. Again, that means you're adding free hanging hair to the outside strands and weaving those under the middle in an alternating pattern. That will look like this when you're finished. Another variation that looks pretty cool is when she has the Dutch braids crisscrossing over each other. To do that, braid the first braid as we did before until you get halfway back along your head, and then pin back the rest of the hair that you would have incorporated into that braid. Hold the side hair below the finished part of the braid out of the way, and then start braiding in the back half of lower side hair into that first braid. This will make it look like the braid is sloping down to the side of your head a lot. Then start the lower braid with the low hair you pulled forward, and when you run out of that, unpin the back half of upper hair and braid that into your second braid. Once finished, you'll get this look. Finally, sometimes Octavia wears these side braids on only one side of her head, and sometimes she has both sides braided, so you can choose to do the other side as well. Now to finish off the style, unclip the top triangle of hair. Pick up the first half, split in 2, and start French fishtail braiding by splitting off a little bit of hair from the outside of one half, adding in some free hanging hair from that side of the braid, and joining that section to the inside of the other half of hair. Keep doing this with both halves of braid, alternating which side you do, until you get to your crown. Then stop adding in hair and finish the fishtail braid normally to almost the ends. Now don't put your hair in elastic just yet. To get a more authentic Octavia style, you first want to fluff the fishtail braid a bit. Do this by gently pulling on the hair in the French part of the fishtail to make it look more voluminous. Then gently pull on the outsides of the normal fishtail braid to make the sections fan out and look fluffier and disheveled. Doing this shortens the braid a bit, which is why I said leave a little bit of hair ends unbraided. When it's fluffed to your liking, secure with a hair elastic and be done. This hairstyle will definitely turn heads. If you liked this, you can see more tutorials from sci-fi and fantasy franchises by visiting my YouTube channel, Silvousplaits. You can also follow me on Periscope for live broadcasts of short videos where I talk about even more hair tips and styling ideas. My screen name for that is also Silvousplaits. Thanks for watching, and see you later!